Muskegg's special.
Who's got the ticket?
Pummer down, the all sing God, pummer around, pummer around, pummer around.
The Hudson Bay Railway was built to facilitate movement into the mining area of northern Manitoba and to transport grain and merchandise to the port of Hudson Bay. These three gentlemen all worked on the construction of the railway from the very early years. Mr. Pocock, what year did you come to the PAW first?
1919.
And what year did you start on the railway?
1918. October the 3rd, and I worked for 50 years and then quit. Well, I worked every hour of the day for the railroad. Get up, go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, get off at 4. Then I've gone to work at 4 and got off at midnight, and gone to work at midnight and got off in the morning. I've even gone to work at 6 o'clock in the morning and got off at 3 in the afternoon.
How long do you do this?
Well, it'll be changing trains, changing work. So they change the shifts around to make it work for the company. Everything had to work for the company.
You worked all year round?
All year round. 50 years. 50 years without getting fired.
Mr. Letchowit, what year did you come to the PAW?
1926 in August. I don't remember the date. It's in August anyway. Well, we moved here with an extra gang. We extended some of the PAW yard here first, and then we moved to what you call it, Armstrong Lake. And we were, well, the grade on that Armstrong River was down about 10 feet. So that was our first job, raising that grade up to a standard.
Mr. Clark, did you have any experiences that you remember clearly?
Well, track work, that's been everything. But
track work, yeah.
Yeah. Get build the track and what's needed down on the track. That's mean the whole track.
The Muskeg presented a problem to you, did it?
Well, yeah. Muskeg, it was lots of trouble. The track go down and we raise up all the time to keep it up, the track.
Well, I'm Florence Gudgeon. I was born Florence Poirier. I came here in June 1910. What I did for the PAW Historical Society was dig up the first of everything, like the first doctor, the first lawyer, first policeman, stuff like that.
Okay, tell us the story about the Diamond Queen.
Well, I don't know too much about her. She was known as Sophie May on the London stage as a dancer.
What time was that? Do you know?
That was in the early 1900s, I imagine. And then she went to South Africa, and that's where she got her name as the Diamond Queen. She came to Nepal, about 1914, something like that. And she ran a boarding house. That burnt down, then she went to Mile 81 and ran a stopping off place there. She died about... Pokey, do you remember when the Queen died in the hospital here?
The Hudson Bay Railway crossed the Saskatchewan River here in around the year 1926 and proceeded there north. Hello.
And this is my wife, and we're from Garmin, Alberta. And the neighbor here has wanted to go to church now ever since she was yay high.
Have you? What made you want to go to church? Reading about it, believe it or not, in history in school.
Is that right?
Yeah.
My name is Warren Bowe,
You're from where?
Iowa City, Iowa.
And you're on your way to church.
Yes, we are.
What do you plan to do there?
Well, we plan to look at the local museum and look around the town. Hope to see some polar bears. We hope also to see them loading grain.
My name is Berbi. I'm from Holland. I'm staying here for 4.5 weeks. I'm just going to church with my cousin and her husband. Just to, I'm curious to see the barren grounds too, and just, I don't know what I can expect.
Heart attack, if you have a heart attack, your heart, get the strawberry root, you know, you dig strawberry, the roots, and you boil that, and you cure that with that. Another one is the, what do you call that thing, sugar diabetes. Well, that's another bad sickness.
Mm-hmm.
I take the mountain ash, you know mountain ash trees?
Mm-hmm.
You take the bark of that one, you peel the bark and wild ginger, they grow in the water. Well, you mix with that and you can cure that with that. A lot of people that come here to come see me, from all over. I got another house way back, a big house, but I had a working shop there. I'm making everything, paddles and stuff like that. You know. I had a little bed and I had a little stove, and I slept there all the time. But shavings about what I did. Two women that come from to 412, close to Churchill. They come to see me. They went in the big house, and I didn't know nothing. And one of my daughters come and said, Daddy, said, there's 2 women here that come to see you now. Yeah? Okay, I said, send them over. They come to that. I asked her, what is your trouble? Well, she said, I quit having kids. I said, but I sure would like to have some more. Yeah? Okay. He didn't even lay down. Just put down like this, and I just touch him like this. I said, go back and send the other one. The other one, the same thing. Same sickness. She don't want kids, man. Next spring, and I heard they sent me a word, and both of them, they had 1 kid each. My hand and medicine. Any kind of sickness. What a doctor that can't do it. They'll come to me. They come to me just with my hand. I went across once here, and I used to stop over there to one my friend over there across. She had a daughter about 15-year-old. And she couldn't talk. I don't know what the heck was wrong. So I went over there and I stopped, and there was 2 special doctors from Winnipeg that come here. They weren't sure, they couldn't do nothing, the doctor. So I said, her name was Anna. I said, what's the matter with Anna? She can't even talk to me. Well, he said, I don't know, she can't talk. She talked, but just like water, and full of water in his mouth. I said, come here. She come to me, and I just touched him like this. About 5 minutes, was talking just like us. See how quick that thing goes? Good. I can do it to anything.
That's good. Keep going, wait. Corky, come on. Oh, look and say cheese.
Pizza.
Wait, look at
Corky, you're standing right
Can't
in front
say
of
butter. Can't say butter.
Look at that guy too.
You guys are going to spoil our picture. Get out of there.
Corky got it. Corky took it.
No, I didn't.
No?
Chicky, give me a spoon.
You want that?
Yep.
What do you want, relish?
Okay, we're having a little game. It's a team against players from Cormorant. We're just practicing up for tournaments when we go out, and
we might not be able to play today because there's a fire out close to town. But we're going to try and play before they come pick us up. I'm the coach of the team, and we started up our team last year. And this year we just got our uniforms in, and we've been going out to quite a few tournaments all over. Wanless and Paw. And we got a few more tournaments to go out. We got to go to Grand Rapids on, I think on the 2nd. And we got to go to Wanless on the 18th. And we are also having a tournament in Cormorant here. I don't know the exact date, but it's just going to be what they call a bush league. You know, not real good players, but players of our own, like, you know, how we play. That's what they're trying to pick up first. But if they have to, they'll come get us.
Batter up.
Come here, Raymond. Where's Hobson? Don't hear him yelling.
He's not on the field. There he is, over Hobson right there.
No batter here. Can you open it? Get it, Porf, get it.
Coach him now.
Okay, now, buddy. You better be right back, boy. One big tug. Way to block them out.
Mom, Olson's warm up another pitcher.
Hi. Oh.
Hey, Kobe wants to be in there.
Okay.
Oh! Find somebody else. Come on, somebody. Put. Put her, come on. You know where he's from, eh?
Lena, bring her here.
Vicky, no. Not so responsible. No fucking time, an hour. Come on, get ready. Go and take those clothes off. Yeah, gotta go firefighting. There's a big fire over here. Chombe, come in. Come on in. I'll take you home.
He's the Moson's done for a while.
Hey, we're trying to win game.
What the hell are they good for? No good firefighting, no good ball playing. Old man will take you guys on one of these days.
Firefighters! Well, you gotta go firefight. Firefighters! Here comes the plane! Oh, she won't get paid enough.
Oh, my name is Hilda Fischer. I've lived here all my life, practically all my life, ever since I could remember anyway.
In this spot?
Yeah, lived here all my life.
Tell me about your donut business.
Well, I started making donuts, I don't know how many years ago, a few years ago, and I used to get my boys to go and sell them for 5 cents a donut.
Did you make much money?
Well, when we first started, we used to make about $20 a day. There were only 5 cents that time, yeah. I haven't got time to make donuts now, to sell anyway.
You're always working, eh?
Yeah, I'm always working. I worked for the hotel, Wascana Hotel, a couple of years, a few years back, and then I started in school 74 as a janitor. I worked there for 4 years, and I quit for a year, I guess, and I started Hatches last spring. I started this spring, yeah. I started.
How many children do you have?
Well, I've had 16, 8 boys and 8 girls. I've got 5 boys living. I've lost 3 boys. And I have about 18 grandchildren, I guess.
Any great grandchildren?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
What's the biggest fish you ever caught?
Jackfish.
Where'd you catch it?
On a rock there.
How much did it weigh?
I don't know. 5 pounds. 5 pounds. 2 pounds sometimes.
How many pounds?
Sometimes 3 pounds.
And what do you do with them when you get them?
Eat them. Sometimes we dress them. And we dress them and put them in our fridge, and after that, in the springtime we go to 140 or 138 to snare fish. The fish come out of the stream there. Creek. Put a snare wire there and you pull them up and you catch a fish.
My name is Larry McIver and plant manager of Boden Freshwater Fish Marketing Corporation. Fish is received here on a loose basis, and what we do is we just pack it in 60-pound weights or 70-pound weights and iced, and the fishermen get the DCR for it, see what they got. That's all sent into our head office in a pot. They get paid out of the pot.
Can you tell us a bit about the plastic tubs?
Oh, they're easier to handle and they're cleaner. You know.
So I guess most of the fishermen like them.
Most of them do, yeah. They could be used over and over again, yeah, but you know, they're washed every time they get used. Well, Boden average is 900,000 a year, summer season. That's from June the 1st to October 31st.
This is a ball-headed eagle.
Great.
Big. They're really young.
You adopted them, right?
Where'd you get them from?
Sudden Lake.
Look at that.
How old are they?
Like a month and a half.
Toot toot. Toot toot. Toot toot. Toot toot. See. Row, row your boat gently down the street. Row, row your boat gently down the street.
Okay, Michael's fishing and wintering. Okay, Joe, signature? Whatever you use.
That Michael's money.
Okay, $10, Joe. I got Louis Pronto in wintering.
Like everybody go and landing first, and when the limit's quartered, and we all move to
A different
wintering.
lake. Like
Yeah.
just go back and forth.
Okay. But That's on wintering. That's what Peter told me, wintering. I'd asked Peter to find out who wanted to go where, and he sent me a list. There was only a couple in Landing Lake.
No, Peter should know that everybody works on one lake at a time.
So they should all be Landing Lake, you say?
Yeah, because everybody goes on one lake, huh?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the way we work it every year.
Okay. We'll wait for
Everybody
Peter to come back first.
That way one guy don't kill a fish here, you go to the next lake and keep planes flying, you know, somebody got half a load, then got to stop over there, then where in the hell is the other guy?
But then see if you're fishing both landing and wintering, you should have 2 licenses, one for landing and one for
after we
wintering.
finish there, then we buy another license to come back on the other lake. You see?
Yeah. Okay. Terry Pronto.
I just got off the train. What's going on here? I don't know what's going on here myself. Nobody's sure you, as long as you collect $10, sure you. What's going on? I'm the president. I'm the president of the fishermen.
Before they can fish, they have to have a license, eh?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, they called me. They said they wanted licenses. You want to turn that off?
No, we don't have to turn it. Just keep it on going.
Last Tuesday when I was in,
I was out in the bush trapping.
Well, you want to have a meeting not with that, okay? Take that to hell out of it.
Why?
Guys.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Oh, you want licenses?
Sure, I want my license.
Well, then okay. What the hell are you fighting about?
There's lots to fight about.
Like what?
Like what? The trouble with you guys, with the conservation officers and about and between tickets and parties, and the one with the transportation too.
Transportation?
Yeah.
No.
And I'm going to have a talk with you guys with the transportation.
What transportation are you talking about?
Transportation is about our tubs and fish boxes, eh?
Well, we have nothing to do with your
I
tubs
know.
and fish boxes.
Well, what the hell do you sitting here if you have nothing to do with our transportation? If our boxes is condemned, what are we going to do? You're going to come around? Oh, yeah, that's not legal, eh? Fish boxes? You're supposed to use plastic? What are we going to do now? When we run out of wooden boxes, that's it. Did you know that?
If you don't want to fish, then you don't want to fish, eh?
Yes, I'm telling the boys. I'm not telling you, I'm telling the boys.
No, I'm not going to fight about it.
No.
They called me up here to issue licenses, and that's what I'm here for.
Once the wooden boxes is over, that's it. And then, how come you guys condemn the plastic tub? Where are we going to put our fish at night? If the plane can't come in. Eh? Who's going to take the loss?
Talk to Freshwater Fisheries about it.
I've been there yesterday.
Well, then what did they tell you?
They said that's what the government says.
Federal government.
Yeah, the federal.
Federal government does fish quality, not provincial.
That makes me sick.
Talk to the federal fishery guy.
When you guys come around, and if we have our fish in the containers, what are we going to do? You guys said it's not legal to have fish in them containers. What are we going to do? It's supposed to be when the wooden boxes run out, that's supposed to be the end.
Well, they won't supply you with wooden boxes.
No.
Why? Can you buy them?
No.
Can you buy them?
No.
You can't even buy them?
No. That's what I'm fighting for my boys here. They don't know that. I've been here, I just come from the park. Why should we go ahead and fish if half of our fish, you come around? How come you put that fish in them containers?
You want licenses, you can goddamn well.
No, but listen.
We're going to either issue license. I can't argue about that because I don't have anything to do with it.
Aren't you a conservation officer?
I'm not. I don't work for Freshwater Fisheries.
No, but you're a conservation officer, aren't you?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
You should give me the information. And if you're going to find out anything, phone me.
Give you what information?
Information about our fish. If we have to go down into Lucky Bay and if we put our fish into them containers and the fish will spoil, who's going to be responsible for that fish? I know you're going to be landing there.
If I worked for freshwater fish, I'd be involved in it, okay?
I hope CBC gets a hold of it. We're here for working for our living, eh?
Federal Fish says you have to use plastic tubs, okay? Because there's too much bacteria in the wooden ones, okay? It's fish quality.
Yeah, one of the things that the fishermen in Thicket Portage had asked for last year was to have the water on this lake raised. So they had talked to Hydro and different people, and it was decided that they would raise this lake 18 inches. We figured that our dock was high enough at the time, but obviously the water's come up higher than we anticipated, and we've got a dock that's underwater, and we've got water levels that are a little too high right now. We've been asking both the provincial and federal government about it, and hopefully we'll have our dock raised so that the fishermen will be able to use it again this summer for their commercial fishing.
When does commercial fishing start this year?
And
how many
I believe it's after the 15th of June, and they'll be fishing probably on the other lake for the first part of the summer, and then they come over here around the middle of July, near the end of July, and fish on this one till the end of August.
How many fishermen are there fishing commercial?
There's about six, 7 commercial fishermen that live here in Thicket, and if they get out on a regular basis, they can make a fairly substantial earnings for their work. We like to see the fishermen receive more money for their product. It seems odd that when the fish is processed and sent south, it seems to be an awful expensive price to be bought, but the fisherman seems to get very little for his product. These houses here, we built 5 of them about 5 years ago. They were built mainly for the pensioners in the community. They've got 2 rooms in, sort of a bedroom and a kitchen living room. And what we've done is we've fixed these houses up for them. We've done all the repairs for them. And again, through our work programs in the summer, what we do is we get the kids to do any upgrading that is needed. And we found them a real godsend for the community, and as you can see, they're well-kept buildings. And I guess we'll put our buildings against some of the ones that are being built today by different construction outfits. But cut.
More often, than not, when it's government sponsored, what happens to guys lose interest, after the first year, and then everything goes to pot. It's really nice to see something working.
Why do we all
Well, it got started about 4 years back. I was trying to create something like employment because there was nothing going on here.
What kind of plants do you have in the greenhouse here?
Well, we have petunias, we got marigolds, we got aslams, we got asters, and in many varieties. Like then we go into vegetables now that we'll be putting out in the field.
What do you do with the plants from here? Where do they go?
Well, we sold most of our plants to Woolworths and Thompson, and also we got a new customers at this year at Canadian Tire are handling some of our flowers, and then we got a few orders from down the Hudson Bay line.
How much of what you grow is vegetables? How much is bedding plants?
Well, we grow 6,000 packs. That's nine plants to a pack, and then we transplanted 15,000 of each variety of vegetables to be put out in an outdoor garden. It took us 2 years to clear the part you've seen here. It's the background here. It took 6 LEAP employees, plus we had some student programs that gave us a hand cleaning out. It's all done by manual, no machinery. Everything was stockpiled. All the trees that we salvaged, we use them for wood.
What are you planning to do with this land here?
Last year there we had some cauliflowers and cabbages, but they didn't do too well. Well, the soil is pretty fair, but it takes time to develop it. That's the problem we got now is developing it. Mostly it's just breaking it up.
Hey, come over here, slap you. Come over, slap you some more. Yeah. Is that good now? I hate like I had to touch you. You stink. You stink. Hey. Lots of settlements up in this part of the country got greenhouses now. They teach the kids how to grow things too, the cabbage and tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff like that. All the families in Ticket Borders used to have gardens once upon a time. Used to have gardens out on the trap lines too. During the hungry 30s, Don, if you had been afraid of work, the heck man, you would have started to that. Because there was no handout and there was no government handout of any kind. You just had to look after yourself or else it would be too bad for you. I was in a paw there and then they started that bread line, you know. You go there and you get a bread ticket. But then in the fall we thought, well heck man, we're not going to go on no bread line now, we might as well go to the bush. Try to make it living trapping. I was going to get $5 a month. I said, to hell with that. I said, I'm going to go to the bush and eat rabbit if nothing. I'm not going to work for $5 a month. So you come up here. People could do the same thing today if they were a little bit more grit in them. They don't have to have all that government handout like they're getting today. Well, they could fish, they could trap. I mean, there's lots of work to do. But they won't do it. You guys, this trapping is still on, you might as well say welfare. To get subsidized, like, you know, if you don't make $300 a month or something, or well, then they get welfare for the rest, see. Oh, Jesus Christ. That is in some guys' grain, you know, but I never did like that kind of stuff. People find their living too easy these days. If there was hard times like it used to be, you know, well, then they would have a garden too.
No! Let's go! Yeah! Let's go!
This afternoon we are going to do a poem. And at the end of it, Ricky, stop eating. You know that. Same with Margaret. Okay. Don't worry about holes. And I want you to watch what the feelings we are getting from reading a poetry like this one, a poem. And later on, you are going to write your own. They needn't to be long. Don't forget that. These people who are writing these poems have experienced writing poems, so you don't worry about the long story. All we are going to do is read 2 long ones and a couple of short ones. And that's the kind I would like you to start off with. I don't want you to write long because you get lost. So this is the wind. Where the wind blows, it sows, scatter seeds, scatter grass, earth starts, water flows, and Polly's cheek is like a rose. Now, this is a short one, that's all there is to it.
That's all?
That's all.
3 lines?
Is it 3 lines? It's more than...
Imagine it.
Can you? Okay, describe to us.
I just see that first line, a long, gentle line.
What is being talked about? What is being talked about, Ricky?
Oops, I got lost.
Oh yeah. If you listen, you will not get lost.
This is a beautiful place here in Pickering.
So when did you get these horns here? These moose horns?
So it's about 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. Cecil was 10 years old at least. He was with you. Great big animal.
Big,
He said it was so big. His neck was like that. He couldn't even put his arms around it.
Yeah,
you know, the fat.
You could barely touch the end of your fingers like this on the neck.
You know,
he was, he was 14. He'll be how old this? Or 12, no, 12 he was. That's what he was. Cecil was 12 that time.
10 years ago.
Yeah, that'd be about 10 years ago. But give him the shoulder blade, and he couldn't pull it on the ground. That's how it was, how heavy it was, you know. Couldn't lift the head. I tried to lift the neck after he could have. You couldn't lift one of them quarters or anything. So
That one was 23 years old, about he figured.
well, you never know.
See, if you pull your collar up here, you wouldn't have those bites on him.
Okay, maybe you can tell a bit about this house.
What is it, about 80 years old now?
Yeah, well, there's Sergeant Rose used to be the fellow, you know, the Mountie used to be, told us all the way from Nepal, he'd come in, that's where he stayed, he used to have his family here and his boys. And he'd take care of Church Hill, he'd go up and then he'd go by dog team from here all outside. And,
what do you use it for now?
well, still using it for fur house now, stretched furs and stuff when I come in and trapping. So I seen the boys on the lake. I say, "What did you do?" I said, "You shot a bear." He says, "Yes." Well, I says, "It's alive, just kidding him, you know." And he says, "No," I said, "We shot him 4 times. Make sure he's dead." Hey,
set that not too big, too small. So if a small bear comes, well, you'll catch him on this size. The big bear, you'll get him by the neck. Then you got him on two, but you can still hold him on one. He's pretty wise. He'll sit here and he'll check this. He'll even take a stick like this and try it how solid you got it. I've seen him sit down and see if you stuck that thing solid. So he'll know what's on there. And sometimes he just takes a whack at that. He'll pull the work, but then he gets caught by the arm on the leg, you know. So that's trapping when you catch them like that. There was the bear made a dive at the dog on a platform between the two houses, but you didn't have my rifle loaded or anything, you know. Then the bear ran away when he saw me. I put the flashlight on. I didn't want to put the flashlight till I got my rifle loaded. Oh, I only missed him, but I might have even touched the dog because I couldn't see it at the time. I was watching more, looking towards the tree where the dog would be at. I mean, the bear would be up and where the dog was doing, you know, at the same time. And I tried to have my flashlight, didn't want to load more on. I had one eye on the shell and one on the dog. Well, it just kept me on the move till I got the clear view of it. But the screech coming, I never heard a screech like a bear in the claws, you know, the bear come out at a full power, jumped from behind the clothesline, and there was lots of clothes flying, quite a breeze blowing. And it made a great big roar on it. It was a roar out the bear with the claws. You could hear the claws on the platform. There was marks on there even the next day after where he missed the dog. But the dog took for the wood pile under, but he was out in a second or two and got around, got himself straight and fight back, and the bear come back to fight the bear. The bear took off by that time. Once he seen the flashlight, he took off. So I flashed the light right close to the bear. He was only about 20 feet from me, the bear. I guess. But the bear shot it was a shot a little too high. I guess I didn't want to shoot low. So got him out that night anyway. Sure got a close shot at the bear. I mean the dog.
Well, Joe came ahead about 2 years and started trapping, and we came 2 years later. So that was in about 1949. And we've lived here ever since, or most of the time. I maybe went out for a year or so at the farm in Saskatchewan.
You used to be mayor at one time too.
Yeah, well, up until a year ago in July. I had about 6 or 7 years in. I don't exactly know how long, but it's about that long.
We came from Split Lake. When we first came to the railroad, we came to Manitou Rabbit, 241. Down here, there's nobody there. There's no town there, nothing now. That's where we came. And from there we came by railroad to here.
What was the town like when you first came here?
There was nothing here, just a shop here when we first came. Roundhouse here, up in the hill there, where the hall is. When we first came, that's all it was. Wasn't even a store here, nothing. There was a restaurant here, the Chinaman restaurant.
Chinese food?
Yeah.
What was the guy's name?
Bob Long and Louis Long.
Where'd they go after they left here?
They went, one went home to China and one died here after.
How long have you lived in Pickwick and
45 years now. Come on, don't run away. Come on. Come on. Come on here. It's going to bite you that dog. Hurry up.
So, come on.
What? Come on. Come on. Come on. Ay, camagita, pues. Come on. Come on.
See what she's got to put in there to make that thing softer? See, what am I going to stand, Mom? Maggie, step on it there.
Step on it.
Oh, you'll do it all right. That's oatmeal she's got on there, eh? She folds it up like that in order to soften it, eh?
Okay, how do you go about preparing a moose hide?
Well, first I guess you got to take the hair out of it, eh? Of course, you got to get it, we'll kill it first.
Let's see what Thomas can you give me.
Yeah. Yeah, you take the hair out of it and then you...
No, what Thomas can.
Yeah.
But
But you make it have it, didn't you?
yeah, go ahead. Got him, was got to it.
After she takes the hair out of it, eh? Then she sort of takes that other stuff out of it, like, what do you call it now?
Meat and the might have.
Like meat and all, eh? First, eh? Till you get right to the fine skin, eh? Then once you finish that, then you put it on a rack, eh? Then you scrape it again with them.
How long does the whole process take?
Dynamite, yeah.
2 days niya pa siya.
Dino, the whole thing, the kakinoma.
Kaya ko?
Dino hin uchido usiet.
Machiyo kaya, machiyo ko.
Muna ma kasa kita man. Dino hin uchido man sa
1 week. 1 week.
1 week. That's two. If she goes at every day like she can have that thing tan and be ready by in 1 week. Like smoke and everything, eh? When that's done now, she's going to put it in the water now, eh? Just soak it in water for a few days or a day or so. Then she'll take it out of water and she'll start pulling it back and forth, eh? Then they'll dry it up that way. When that's done, that's pretty well done then. Then she'll sew it up, eh? Then she'll get she'll put something like a tripod there. And she'll get some whole rotten stump like a willows, you know. Willows, especially rotten ones, eh? Just to make a smudge, you know, it makes it what we're trying to make a good smudge, eh? That sort of makes it brown colored, then, eh? After it's all brown all over, then it's done, then, eh? And it's ready to be used for any material that she's going to be using it.
Is your mother going to make clothes out of it?
No, she usually makes what do you call it? Mucklucks and slippers. She used to do jackets longer, but not anymore, she says. She never gets enough most side now these days to make a jacket. Used to be a lot of trappers here now. There's only about a few trappers here. They had to go out and work, so that most of them never came back here.
Oh yeah.
So the ones that were left behind here, that's the ones took over the trap lines then.
But I'm 75, and my birthday was just 21st of May. I have been out building country elevators. We were in a place by the name of Strasbourg in Saskatchewan when we quit. We decided to quit. Elmer, my partner, he wanted to go and find a trap line or go out and see some wild country. I took out a homestead up here to make sure we could get a foothold there. We thought it would be a good idea. We didn't know there was so many people there then, you see. We thought it was kind of wild there. When we came here, there was lots of people there, yeah. And the railway shops was here. It's only one train a week. And that train arrived here on Friday. So if I'm correct, you know, there should be a Friday 29, 1928, I arrived there. There were mostly more white people in those days, you know, Ukrainians. There was few Swedes and Finlanders. And what else have you? But there's some established family here, like the Halls. Alec Hall over there, you met him maybe, eh? Alec Hall, across the river here. Well, they were here before I came here, yeah, sure. And we walked, we didn't have no dogs then the first year. So we had to pull our own toboggan. That's all we had. Snowshoes and on open water, there was the canoe, of course. There was no outboard motors, hardly. They just start coming in, you know, outboard motors. And we built cabins, you know. We got our trap line organized a little bit. We got the cabins so far apart, you know, so we could we could spend a week, you know, go out to one cabin, stay overnight, skin our fur, and go to the next cabin and do the same thing and come back home maybe on Saturday or Friday, make some sourdough bread and yeah, it was quite interesting. Yeah. I gave my time out in the bush. I gave my half of my time to prospecting, and half of my time I made my living trapping. Eh? Yeah. So Helmer, he wouldn't look at the rock, but I was crazy about rocks. As far as my own claims, I staked lots of claims after that, you know, and I had companies interested in it, and a little option maybe, but not to amount to anything, you know. And that goes for the rest. And there was almost every second one here was a prospector in his own hair, you know, in those days. Yeah. They were looking at rocks and chopping away at rocks. And we had a Chinaman there, Bob Long. He had a restaurant there. And he was just as interested as any prospector was in rocks. Yeah, he had found some gold with some quartz out there, just a few miles away from here, and he displayed them there in his what it was supposed to be tobacco, you know, in that glass cage he had there, you know, in the restaurant there. There was all full of rocks there, you know, samples, you know, from.
Do people still make a living from trapping as much as they used to?
It's a part-time living as far as that goes, yeah. That's, I don't know, that's not the same as trappers goes. They generally have something else. Now we got some trappers, they're going to go out fishing, yeah. And but in those days there was more trappers, and that's all there was to it, or mixed with prospecting, eh? Yeah.
Trappers, fishermen, welfare people.
And he buys fur.
Yeah,
This
I'm a
guy.
fur buyer and I'm a CNR. I work for CNR. I don't lay around.
He's not a big son.
Not
He
a
buys
big
fur.
I'm just a poor man. Yeah.
Yeah, we got married after
94 September.
when he came back from the army. He was overseas, say about how many?
3 years.
2 years
I was over in.
overseas.
I was in Korea, Vietnam. I was in Japan. I was in the remote areas of China.
Yeah.
But not beautiful like this though. No way.
That's for sure.
How about them scores?
Check on that list.
The whole list comes off here, John. What's there? Ammunition. Uh-oh. Be careful, this gun is loaded.
Okay. Got a tobacco here to sign for.
No, that's grass, like marijuana. You guys grow any marijuana here? It's supposed to grow real good here on that hill. I guess we're gonna go and start you up that.
Okay, give me a receipt here or a bill. Should have given me the other one, but that's a lot for it.
That was last time, 5.
Hey, careful.
There, trestle! Get over here. Trestle.
Get it?
Oh yeah.
And you'll go. Wow. And you'll be right down, and then you can go right down the river valley. Pan right to the river valley.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Whoa, nice steady fan.
Whoa. Hold it. Hold it. What else?
Hold on to that cameraman.
guys to go out there to check the fire and regard a message. Will do. Okay.
Look at that! Asay chago singa mosom kokombe wichewe da diddle diddle love dee diddle diddle la dee diddle diddle la dee dum diddle diddle Oh, asay.
Well, it's only 18 miles. Oh, it's very quick. It's only up and down again.
But you can only haul so much.
Well, with other plane, I can haul 1,300 pounds.
Chips are After this load, I quit.
So we got the eggs from California. We got 300,000 here. So there's about 12,000 eggs to a tray. It takes about 10 days to raise them from the eggs. Once they finish in here, we'll take them out and put them in troughs, and only keep them long enough to bring them up to the stage where they'll start feeding by themselves, and then we'll take them out and put them in small ester lakes that I have. It takes quite a bit of work to keep them up to this point. About 8 hours a day of picking dead eggs off. You can tell them because they turn white, and they have to be picked up, or they'll fungus and destroy the other eggs or the fish. Much similar as a farmer raises chickens. They'll raise them from the eggs and put them in the lakes and harvest them and sell them as a finished product.
So how much fuel can you carry?
120 gallons. Bad place to be doing this.
Right at my inlet for my fish, yeah.
I just got this plane a few days ago. I had a 185 before that I just sold, which turned out to be too small for my operation. So the Beaver does much better to haul groceries to my other store in York Landing. I also hope to use it for the rainbow trout that I'm raising. Fly the fish over to, the fingerlings over to my lakes, and then later haul the fish out of the lakes as they're harvested.
you doing it?
That's it.
Are you Mr. Liberty? The Liberty? No,
This is
No, I'm going to talk.
this side is just a
What's your name?
Horace Morris.
How long have you lived here?
How long I've been here? I've been here, well, I was born down the Split Lake here. Just 25 miles north here. That's where I born. But I worked the railroad 30 years.
What'd you do on the railway line?
Tamping ties, shoveling the gravel, sliding again, shovel again, put them up again. That's what I do. But after that foreman job, I get the foreman job. And then I take it a little easy. I give a chance for young fellas to work. One white man he went to the boat, go paddling on the lake, no matter the river, eh? You call it Chimani Mitsukujisko. It sounds like this. Chimani Mitsukujisko, we papa maziak. Don't shoot me. Rest time. Well, I can tell you what I've been doing to the time is my dad is died and my mother is living only, and I'm that small boy, and then my sister is living. He don't help me nothing, and I just grew up like that. You just eat and bannock, and that's all. But my mother maybe went fishing. Get some fish. And we eat in there. No welfare, no nothing, no pension, nothing. No family allowance that time. But after that, and then I'm 14 years old. The time I'm moving around a little bit, I can work. And I started work for the fishing for the guys, Icelanders over in Delphi. Then I look after myself, and because he paid me to do this kind of thing, only job I can get. But no eggs, no oranges that time. I born 1913. I must be around about, maybe 7, 8 years old. I'm coming here. I see the horses over there standing over here, that down Elford area. There's no machine, anything, no tractors, no nothing at that time. But I see the horses over there. I was scared to go out, because it's standing over there and the horses. I thought it could hurt me, eh?
Then is the gossip Jimmy Jan wow on a bow yash, Musu Yahimi Janek, Bago making no sale. What you on Huawei?
Yeah, he said
To a letter to Sinian.
He said you never eat eggs that time. He said this we eat the fish that time.
What if you pay now was I instead of Vegemite here? Negi one is taken up in Panya, what Poya Batia, Nimusum. Nimusum, I bet in Tagi.
He said that time he paddling around and just got a paddle to use it, and the time he with his grandpa. You want to hear that elf was?
Absolutely.
Sound like this.
Art Fletcher, Sandy Kirkness. Sandy was a brakeman on the Lynn tractors, and that machine operated out of Ilford in 1932 when the God's Lake gold mines were operating.
Where are you gonna go, please?
Winnipeg.
All right, we'll go to Winnipeg first.
What is this thing you're on? Do you know?
A tractor.
Good drive.
All right, we're in Winnipeg. Where do you want to go?
I want to go to Mexico.
And a brief look at the North Country weather. And the North Country hotspot at this point in time is Ilford with 26 above. And you can look for some pretty high winds today.
I worked for the railroad out of the Paw in 1945, and I just quit my job in 61 and moved here. Couldn't stand your white society, or whatever you want to call it, or the rat race, or the crap that goes on down in southern Manitoba. Yeah, well, I've been here a lot of years, and I've raised 6 kids here, and 6 boys, and I imagine some of them will come back here to live.
What do you do nowadays?
Me?
Yeah.
Repair other people's fences.
Oh,
We own the hotel. My 19-year-old son was probably going to come and run that thing, and then he'll spend a year here and decide whether he wants to stay in the north or whatever he's going to do.
What about yourself?
Oh, I'll probably die here. I'll be. My main interest is staying in the winter freighting and building some winter roads. We're dead, you know.
Yeah.
This community is dead. It shouldn't be. There should be something being done here. There's even within the community itself. There's things we could be doing. And our commercial fishing is dead. Where we used to employ, our peak year here was 82 fellows fishing. 800,000 pounds of fish went through our little plant down here. And that was a good summer.
Now there's not many commercial fishermen.
Now I think we have 2 full-time fishermen out and 2 part-time fishermen. And there's just no money in it. So this winter we're looking for freight now, and hopefully we'll still get some winter road contracts, and we'll try to keep the company together and survive for another year.
My name is Adam Dick. I come from Spit Lake, and I was born 1897, January 15.
Do you remember the treaty being signed?
It's in 1908. That's long before he come to before railroad comes, you know. When we signed a treaty at that time, I was 12 years old that time. We didn't stay right in the Spit Lake that time with my dad. We stayed about 7 miles out there. So when that treaty people come, and we went to the post. Call the councils. He put the medal in here. He says you're the council. He says here's your chief. Anything that the guy said, he said you got to do it. That's what they told the councils, eh? You put the council on the medal. Team medals, you know. 2 brown ones and 1 white one. So they told him to sit down. So he said the government will look after you. He said he give you a reserve after. I don't know when. He said he's going to have a reserve after. I don't know when. He said they'll come anyway. So when you're going to have a reserve, just like that, it's a table, eh? Table like square like that, eh? He says that's what you're going to be. You can stay right in the inside. Well, you can go out or any place, all right. But it's nobody bothered you. If any white man bothered you, You can call government, and they'll help you. The government, he's going to look after the people, not to put away every day by day. As long as the sunshine, as long as the water goes, as long as the grass goes. Well, that's the problem to the people. You're going to treat the people. You're going to come and you're going to look after them, That's what that means. So I try to get the treaty here and the reserve down here. But I started about 3 years ago now, but I never get it yet. I've been working head off and trying to get the treaty and with these people here. So we had 115 people here, treaty people. But you don't want to go back to Spit Lake. It's people have been living in here 50 years, 45 years, some of them 35. I started living in here on 25 years, more. When I was working the railroad, and then I started living in here.
Whereabouts would this new reserve be?
Down here, about 7 miles from here. I tried to get that little lake up there. Well, it's 2 lakes together, but the nice lakes and good fishing lakes and all that and everything, nice lake. Good water, and how do we can't do anything with that water, that place out there, and you can't flood it and all that. Different place, it's only a small river, But it's only a big river when you put a dam in. Look at it, you take the Spit Lake down there, that these people, they can't hunt down there in the Spit Lake, Used to be a lot of fish, a lot of games in there at one time when I was there. But now, nobody can do nothing. You can hunt out there, no place on that river, the Spit Lake, on the Nelson River. When we started this, these people, they was running, and one chief and 2 councillors. And then, so he clicked me, the chief, And then 2 councillors, Charlie Spence and Horace Morris, them 2 councillors, Them guys, he was with me, So that's the way we starting now 3 years now. When I've been fight to try to get the reserve here, And the people told me the outside, I got lots of letters and Ottawa and all that, different, and all it told me in different way and all like, and I don't know. They make it out, sometimes, I got a bunch of letters, look at it, 3, 4, 5 boxes all full of mail and all that and everything, So I'm still going, I'm still trying to get the reserve,
How many kids are we going to have going down now?
Well, if everyone goes, it'll be 8. 5 from my room and 3 from my room. We don't know what Angela is at down on the boat now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. There's old John waving his head off.
Where's John? Oh, over there at the back of his car.
Yeah. He's always on the way for it too.
Yeah, looks like he's doing double duty this week. Wait.
Well, that's the excitement in Milford for another week, huh?
Yeah? You want to go get the mail?
seagulls. Oh, servants. My dog. My dog. No, go fish now. Soon shallow now.
Did you build that house?
Yeah. That's John Even.
How old are you?
64. August now, 64. 3 August. Not much money now. too much work now. Lots of mosquitoes. Yeah. Sit down. Apple. 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 Yeah.
As far as the coast?
I don't know. Far away is half. 80 miles, halfway, maybe 2 nights come back. 3 days.
was brilliant.
I only want to breed the best dogs and maintain and keep the best dogs. My name, I'm Brian Ladoon, and I live in Churchill, Manitoba. And we are a tundra safari company, same as like they have in Africa. That's basically the kind of tours we are looking at. We also do winter travel. We have and breed Eskimo Husky dogs. These dogs are the original dogs of the north. We use them in teams of 15. We can take 2 people per sleigh, and we run 1 day or 1 week or 2 week tours because we're going to offer different areas to explore. There's the sea ice, you have your tundra, and there's areas south of Churchill too. There's the polar bear denning area and the Owl River and so forth like that. The birds and the animal life is very diversified. You have caribou that come right to the coast, and they feed in the salt marshes, and then the polar bears, they come right up from the salt water, and they walk right together. You can see caribous and polar bears, not all the time, but they're within, looking distance. You can certain times of the year. Eventually we're going to be able to go into any northern area, as long as there's a navigator and so forth. With any expedition, we could outfit an expedition to the North Pole and with 2-3 years notice, and have dogs and equipment and so forth.
It is a self-style, but not usual fish.
When is the next one in, John? Sunday?
Could I have your attention? I have the pleasure of saying welcome to the Port of Churchill to the captain and the ship that arrive first in Churchill to open our season. As I was saying to the captain during this beautiful meal, which I'm sure you're all grateful for and which I found absolutely fantastic, he is the first Japanese ship to call as well at the Port of Churchill. He is about 100 tons short of being the largest ship to ever call here. He is the ship that calls in the Port of Churchill during our 50th anniversary. So today is a very special day for us, for our town, for our port, and maybe I can boast about it a little bit for the three prairie provinces. Captain, the painting I'm going to present to you was a picture of the very first ship to load a cargo of grain in Churchill, which was the Farnsworth. And this is the picture. As you can see, the dock wasn't even completed. When they took out the first ship, the wharf hadn't been completed and part of the gallery was being built. The plaque says, filling of the Farnsworth, presented to Captain Genichi Matsuda, master of the MV Nikko Maru, the first ship to arrive in the Port of Churchill, 50th season, August 9th, 1979. So I'd like to congratulate you and present you with this.
Thank you very much.
Incredible.
This is a corner for me and my crew. This important entry. So, thank you very much.
My name is Theo Lozo. I'm the general manager of the Port of Churchill. The first ship, which was a Japanese registry, was the Nikko Maru. It arrived yesterday morning at about 4 a.m. We brought her in yesterday about 10, and she started loading about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The grain ships are what we call tramps, mainly. That means that they are ships built to be chartered to the individual that wants them, and they're mostly in the grain business. The shipping season in Churchill is limited by Lloyd's of London insurance rates, but this last season we got an underwriter in Canada to extend that season by 10 days at the beginning and 15 days at the end. So based on that, we're July 15th to October 31st.
Alright. You alright now all around it, Jay?
Western farmers kind of got fed up with the CP rail and they didn't like their monopoly, so they looked for an alternative to this, and they convinced the political arm of our country to make a decision and put some money in. So the alternative, which was the natural, because the West had been settled in part by people coming from overseas through Churchill down to, say, the Red River settlements, the Selkirk settlements. And the Hudson's Bay Company had been established here for a number of hundreds of years before Churchill was built. So this is the way it happened. They just said, okay, we'll go the other way. And they built a rail line from the prairies out to the bay, as it was called. As a matter of fact, the organization was called On to the Bay. And this is how Churchill came into its existence. They put a lot of sacrifice, as you're probably finding out, for this building this rail line. And it has served, I think, Canada West well to have a rail line. It's an alternative route to its markets. And I think that that's still a valid reason to put more money and more commitment into the rail line and into Churchill. I don't think that that has changed. It may even become more important as each region begins in our country begins to think that if it's strong, it makes for a stronger Canada.
I'm gonna play the sound like this. Finish. I'd like to happy with you guys. Take me a picture. I'm 66 years old fella. I lost my family. Just myself living over here in Alfred. Thank you very much for that to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Good. I'm gonna play one song for you guys. My name is Cisco, way Papa my teaching.